Hello everyone, my name is Julian I'm the English professor for this course, that is Technical English 2 for the administration program. Today's objective of this video class is to present the topics of the second module, that is going to be countable and uncountable nouns. Also, at the end of this video class, you are going to find the instructions on how to develop the activity that we are going to be grading from tomorrow and on. So, welcome, and I'm going to share my screen. Sorry for what you're going to watch, but this is the thing. Okay, okay, so welcome everybody. Okay, so first thing we are going to check is countable nouns. Countable nouns are those nouns that we can already count. We can know the number of objects or things that we have. For example, we can count cars, fruits, oranges, for example, and we can count, I don't know, the different things, for example, eggs and like that. To count, we can use different words, but for example, in this case, we are going to learn how to use a and an. We use a when we are talking about singular objects, singular um, nouns. Noun in this case is object. So a is the same that saying one. A and one are synonyms. So for plural form, we can recognize it because usually it has an s at the end. So it is the noun plus an s. For example, orange, orange, and oranges. Orange without the s is the singular and oranges is the plural. We have a potato or a potato, and we have a slight difference in here. Then with this noun, we are going to add es, not just s, but es. Okay, so those were countable because you can know how many of there are. So for uncountables, we are going to find that uncountables are those objects or those things that we cannot count easily, we cannot count. So we are going to measure them. It is not the same to say there are three oranges that say there are rice, some rice, because you don't know how much there are. In this example, we are going to find that books is a countable object, books, because we can know how many of them do we have in a sentence. It is countable. Please pause the salt. We are going to find the salt is uncountable. Okay, about chairs. Now that you have practiced before, we can say that chairs are countable. We can know how many of them we find. And remember the words that help us to define if an object is countable or uncountable. To mention that there is only one, we can use a or an or one. There is a mango or I have an egg. We can see mango is singular and it is countable. Depending on the vowel on the next word next to the word that defines if it is singular, a or an. In this case, it continues with an vowel, but in this case, it continues with a consonant. So in this case, we are going to use a, and in this case, we are going to use an. Okay, now we are going to move to the plural uncountable. We can use the word some to say that there are some of objects that we maybe don't know the exactly amount, but we know that we can count them. For example, apples. If you have some apples, let's say, I don't know, more than 10 on a basket, you can say there are some apples on a basket. Or I have some eggs. Now we are going to move to there is. There is some sugar. We can use also some to mention uncountable things. There is some sugar because we don't know how much is there sugar in a place. How much sugar is there? So we use some for uncountable. He has some bread. Bread, it is not countable as the noun in general. We can count the pieces of bread. So where that is a measure that is pieces. But the bread, it is not countable as itself. Okay, so in this example, let's try to guess which one of these words goes in here in this sentence. There is a banana, there is an banana, or there is some banana. In this case, it is a singular and countable noun. Banana is countable. You can know how many bananas do you find in in a place or in a recipe. And this word, next word, it is not beginning, it is not starting by a vowel. So we use a. Now with this sentence, there is ice cream in the fridge. A, an, or some. Which one do you consider is going there? There is a, an, some. In this case, we may know that ice cream is not countable. So we use some because we don't know how much ice cream is there. It is not easy to count. We need to measure them in pieces or in liters or in kilograms or in grams, but we cannot count them. We measure them. Okay, I need a and some water to wash my hands. In this case, water is the object that we are trying to figure out if it is countable or uncountable. What do you think is going here? In this case, water is uncountable. So we are using some. In this case, some means unspecified quantity because we don't know how much of the um, object is being counted. It is different if we use a measure like a glass. We can count the glasses of juice, but we cannot count the juice. So juice by itself it is uncountable and glasses of juice is countable. Unspecified quantity and specified quantity. We use some for affirmative sentences. Let's see the example. There is some money. We use any for negative and interrogative sentences. Let's see examples. Is there any money? No, there isn't. There isn't any money. Remember. Some for affirmative, any for negative and interrogative. So let's try this exercise. I need some or any time to study. Okay, remember that in affirmative we use some and in negative and interrogative we use any. So in this case it is some. Okay, in this case there is some or any cheese. We can say there is some because it is affirmative sentence. There aren't some or any horses in the field. There aren't. In this case, it is negative. In here, we are seeing that we have the negative form of the verb be in here. So we are going to use any. There aren't any horses in the field. Okay, so we are moving to our topic that is called how much and how many. We use how much to know the quantity, to ask for the quantity of something, and how much we use it with uncountable nouns and how many with countable nouns. So let's see some examples. In this case, as we can count the number of cars, we use how many cars are there. Remember that we use how many with countables. There are 6 cars. That's the answer. Okay, in this case, we use how much to ask for the quantity of sugar because we cannot count the sugar. But we can count the measure of the sugar, in this case that we are using spoons. Okay, in this case we are presenting pictures. So to ask about the number of pictures, we use how many because we can count them. We can know how many of them we find. Milk. In this case, for milk, we use how much because we don't know the quantity. We have to use a measure like is boxes for to know the quantity of milk. Okay, and finally we are going to see the future simple forms. Remember that we use future to talk about things that haven't happened yet in the present. So it's going to be next day, next hour, but not now nor in the past. So it is very simple. We are going to use the structure with the auxiliary will. I will help you. She will call me. So the structure is very, very simple. We are going to use the noun, the auxiliary, and the verb without any conjugation. We are going just to write it in the full form. I will help you. You can see she will call. We have the noun, the auxiliary, and we have the verb with any conjugation. Now, we are going to see that we can find another way to talk about the future, that is be going to. This is a form because it is completely conjugated in present, but we are referring to the future with this form. So let's put an example. We are going to, uh, he is going to spend his vacation in London. We are going to read. Yes, I am going to be an actor when I grow up. Those are plans, you see? So the correct way is be going to, be and be going to, and the main verb of the sentence. Noun, be going to, main verb and complement. You see? So easy. Now we have some differences when we are going to use will and when we are going to use be going to. So we use will when we express a voluntary action, something that I really want to do. Uh, I am really hungry. I will make some sandwiches. I will make some sandwiches. That's because you are self-motivated to do it. So we can use also will to promise something. I promise I will not tell him about the surprise party. I will not tell him about the surprise party. Okay, and this will also is to express a spontaneous decision. The telephone is ringing. I will answer. Okay, let's see more uses of future simple. We use will to request help or offer help. Will you please help me to do my homework? In this case, you can see to request that we are asking, we are making a question. Will you please? And remember that when we are posing questions, we are going to move the auxiliary to the beginning. So remember the will in this that is not a question in this sentence that is not a question. It is after the noun. In this case that it is a question, we are going to move it to the beginning. Okay, so next we use will with words and expressions like probably, possibly, perhaps, I'm sure, I expect. I will probably get there by car. We use will when the main verb is be. I will be in London tomorrow. Be. And we don't conjugate it because this auxiliary is the already the conjugation. Now we're going to see the use of be going to. We use be going to talk about prior plans, strong intentions, or fixed arrangements. I am going to buy a new car next year. That's a strong intention. That's a real what I really want to do, and that's a plan. We use both will or be going to predict future events. The weather tomorrow will be sunny, or you are going to be a famous artist. Depending on how far it is, we are going to use will or going to. Closer, farther. We use be going to, not will, to make predictions about events when there is a concrete evidence. When the event is really close or it is very concrete, we are going to use be going to. Look at those dark clouds in the sky. It is going to rain soon. These time expressions will help us to know that we are going to, or that we are talking about future. For example, tomorrow, soon, next week, next year, in 5 minutes, in 2 hours, later, today. But all of them have in common that are expressing some things that we are going to do in the future. Okay, that's for the presentation today, but I'm going to show you what we are going to do for next weeks on. So, for example, this module 2, we are going to do this form that is called purchase order, then the evaluation of the module. Okay, so about purchase order, what we are expecting is to develop the future tense, countable and uncountable nouns, the use of how many and how much, and to use specific vocabulary required for the activity. So please study the PDF of this module number 2, or check our video class, the full video class. Now, for this activity, you are required to write a formal email for ordering a product. Ok, chicos, voy a cambiar aquí a español para que quede muy clarita la clase de lo que estamos necesitando para la actividad evaluable. Entonces, ya que hemos visto nuestro material de estudio y esta videoclase, la idea es que vamos a escribir un correo electrónico formal. Vamos a copiar el estándar que tenemos, por ejemplo, no sé, en Outlook, vamos a escribirlo muy formal, como si fuera un correo electrónico que le vamos a enviar a un proveedor solicitándole un producto para nuestra compañía. En este correo vamos a incluirle 5 oraciones utilizando futuro, tanto will como going to. Ya saben lo que acabamos de ver, dependiendo de la intención. Para hacerle requisitos, para expresarle requisitos de lo que nosotros vamos a necesitar. I am going to need 5 bulbs, for example. También vamos a tener que incluir 5 preguntas al vendedor sobre la cantidad, calidad y la fecha de entrega de los productos. Vamos a utilizar many and much. ¿Listo? How many and how much. ¿Cierto? Preguntas utilizando how many and how much. Luego tenemos que diseñar y publicar una orden de compra. Esta orden de compra debe contener los productos que estoy ordenando acá. Deben ser coherentes, tanto este como este deben ir hablando de lo mismo. Si yo acá le digo 5 bombillos, acá también en la orden de compra que yo desarrollo y que tiene que estar toda en inglés, por supuesto, tiene que decir 5 bombillos que se necesitan, ¿vale? Asegúrense de que la orden de compra tenga todos los requisitos, todo lo que es precio, tamaño, cantidades, nombres de los productos, marcas, ¿sí? Todo lo que tiene una orden de compra. Yo creo que ustedes ya conocen mucho más sobre las órdenes de compra y si no, podemos utilizar nuestras palabras clave para ir a revisar qué son las órdenes compra, ¿vale? Y por favor, utilicemos todo el vocabulario que hemos venido aprendiendo en el glosario. Esto, ustedes tienen que entregar en este foro el correo o el template de correo, que el template es como formato de correo que escribieron hacia el proveedor y también la orden de compra. que debe estar en inglés. Entonces, eso es lo que esperamos en este foro, ¿vale? Aquí le decimos responder a Julián y esa es nuestra actividad evaluable para este segundo módulo. Luego ya podemos presentar nuestro tema, nuestro quiz para este segundo tema. Eso ha sido todo por el día de hoy. La idea de nuestra videoclase es que podamos aprender. Recuerden que pueden contar con nuestra colaboración todo el tiempo. En este momento nosotros ya hemos habilitado una línea de WhatsApp para que ustedes puedan tener acceso también a contactarnos a través de esta línea de WhatsApp. El número es 319-551-9052. Ahí los voy a tener pues en el horario de oficina habitual que tenemos. Entonces, chicos, si tienen alguna inquietud, please do not hesitate in reach me, in contact me. I'll be here. Thank you for being with us in this video class and goodbye.